at 6. Hotter days and smoky skies as a record-breaking wildfire season tests crews across the Northwest.
There were moves of the fire going 4 to 6 miles a day,
with thousands more people under new evacuation orders.
I'm Devin Haskins on Mount Hood Meadows, the resort in a level 3 evacuation zone. What the resort is doing to keep the property safe because of the Grasshopper fire.
It's scary for us, but we're prepared.
Then, why a petition to put more money toward Portland police failed to even make it on the ballot.
Plus, a critical week for the future of Oregon's aging arena as young fans and local businesses make their case for investing in Moda and the Blazers.
To be able to go and not have to travel to see something as cool.
But first, here at 6, a KGW weather impact alert for heavy smoke, heat, and fires, with one that's now triggering evacuations at 2 Mount Hood resorts. Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pedawanich.
And I'm David Molko. We'll have more from the Cascades in just a moment. But first to meteorologist Joe Ranieri. And Joe, all that smoke is helping keep our temperatures down, but it's making it downright awful to be outside.
Exactly right. It's just uncomfortable to look at those live cameras and just to walk outdoors. Yeah, you can do it for a couple minutes and then you really got to come in. So I'm sure a lot of people out there are wondering, when are things going to be improving? Not going to be improving until probably the next couple of days or so. By Thursday, we'll see a drastic change because of a change in wind direction. So we're looking at unhealthy air across the Pacific Northwest. Now, air quality alert is in place throughout much of Oregon as well as Washington State. But as you can kind of see, this graph will kind of drop down a little bit going into tomorrow night. It gets even better by early Thursday morning. The air quality alert is in effect until tomorrow at noon. We also have this red flag warning in place through parts of the Columbia River Gorge and southern Oregon. Now, fire danger obviously is going to remain high the next couple of days. Heat advisory is also in effect until late tomorrow because of our warm temperatures that we're going to be seeing. We're going to be seeing highs in the mid to the upper 90s, although I think it's going to be closer to the low to mid 90s tomorrow. So limit your time outside and limit your heat exposure because, yeah, it is very unhealthy out there. You can kind of see behind me on the smoke forecast. This is what you're going to be seeing as you walk out there right now. Just very unhealthy from the coast, the valley, and the mountains. I'll talk more about your detailed forecast in a few minutes.
Thank you, Joe. Well, you know, the fire burning closest to Portland right now is the Grasshopper fire. Since it started July 23rd, it's burned roughly 34,000 acres and is 19% contained. But David, this fire has also triggered some new evacuations.
That's right. Let's give you a lay of the land here. Coming over to the map, the mountain, Mount Hood, right in the center here, the Grasshopper fire. They're concerned about the western flank with the winds out of the east. We can try and zoom in here. Mount Hood Meadows, the lodge is right here. Level 3, go now. Level 2 here, Timberline here, government camp in all of these areas, about 3,500 to 4,000 people under level 1 B-set evacuations. Our Devin Haskins is at government camp.
Mount Hood Meadows closed and in a go now evacuation zone. Thick smoke fills the air as ash falls from the sky. The Grasshopper fire burning dangerously close to the ski resort on the southeast side of Mount Hood.
We have been close before, but yeah, this is about the closest it's come.
Greg Pack is the general manager and president of Mount Hood Meadows. Tuesday morning, he told staff to stay home. He says a small team has been busy preparing the resort and moving pieces around just in case.
It's close enough where we've had all kinds of fire personnel here evaluating the buildings, coming up with their plans, and getting set if they have to fight the fire here at the resort.
Sprinklers spraying water on several buildings and fuel pumps. The snow machines placed near propane tanks just in case.
It's scary for us, but we're prepared.
By midday, the Grasshopper fire was about 6 miles from Mount Hood Meadows. Its size, 34,000 acres and growing, increasing by about 3,000 acres from Monday and moving northwest.
But due to the fire growth, because of the dryness, the receptiveness to the fuels, and this new wind, it's causing a little bit of concern as we begin to continue to fight this fire.
The weather, a major concern for firefighters, with wind coming from the east, pushing flames west in the direction of Meadows.
So that wind is now pushing the fire to the west. And again, with the increased temperatures and the drier fuels, this wind dropped our relative humidity significantly, which is going to increase that fire behavior.
Pack says this is the smokiest he's ever seen it at Meadows. He's concerned and cautious, hoping the wind changes.
They're being very safe right now. So I think we still have time, and it looks like we'll have easterly winds for another day, through midday tomorrow, and then they switch back west, which would be helpful to us. and that have that fire burn back on itself.
Fire officials are hoping Highway 35, which runs in front of Mount Hood Meadows, acts as a good fire buffer between the fire's edge and Mount Hood Meadows. They were able to increase the containment on the fire, although not by much, going from 17% yesterday to a reported 19% today. At Government Camp, I'm Devin Haskins, KGW News.
Hopeful it doesn't grow much more. Well, team coverage continues with our Harley, Cold Iron, and Tigard, where firefighters from Washington County just got home from Eastern Oregon.
And Harley, we understand you have an update. Fill us in.
Christine and David learned just a few moments ago that 2 homes and 5 outbuildings were lost during the very early stages of the second flat fire. Now that's raging in Harney County at 105,000 acres, and it's a big reason why officials from Washington County, including commander here at Tualatin Valley Fire Station, were sent out there.
Main mission is protect lives and save property.
Ryan Robinson is the district chief of operations for Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue. He's just returned home after a week of working the front lines on the second flat fire in rural Harney County. The blaze is burning 105,000 acres with 55% containment.
There were moves of the fire going 4 to 6 miles a day.
The 30-year veteran led a team made up of firefighters and engines from across Washington County. They worked overnight 10-hour shifts for a week straight.
We'll go start spraying water on fire and then try to hook the fire around a structure, and then we can bounce to a different structure and go save that one as well.
Their focus was on defending valuable assets like structures, homes, and crops.
In particular, out in Burns, high crop value for them is hay, and so that is their livelihood that's going to feed animals for the winter range.
And one of the reasons they were so successful in protecting homes and structures is because so many homeowners in Burns had defensible space. That means having as little flammable material and plants near your home, because if those flames do come by, they won't be used as fuel.
In the fire service in general, I think our spouses, loved ones, significant others at home, they are impacted by this just as much as we are.
Those teams can be sent out for weeks at a time, making it hard for families and children. But Ryan says the difference they make is well worth the sacrifice.
My wife is extremely supportive. Kids understand what our roles are, that we're being able to help save lives and protect communities.
And we certainly appreciate those firefighters and their families. And though 2 homes were lost in the early stages of the fire, every single structure and home that Ryan and his crew were tasked with were saved. Christine, David?
And that is testament to the efforts of all our first responders. Harley, Cold Iron there. Thanks, Harley. Stay with KGW as we track the ongoing wildfire emergency. We'll have the latest from Spokane in about 6 minutes. And a reminder, you can find new details and your full forecast on demand at KGW.com and on the KGW mobile app.
In your headlines, a man was found dead inside a car this morning in South Portland near the ICE facility. Investigators say he was shot and the car had crashed into a building. But where this all happened near the ICE facility, which has seen its share of protests and violence, appears to be a coincidence.
Our sergeant is patrolling the area, on routine patrol, sees the vehicle crashed. About that same time, shots fired calls are coming into 911, and we're piecing it together. Again, it looks like this individual was shot while in his vehicle at the intersection of McAdam and Bancroft. Our suspect takes off in a vehicle they were traveling in, and our victim rolls down the hill and crashes into the building.
No word yet on any arrests.
To Forest Park, where an arborist was killed this morning by a falling tree. This was along Northwest Cornell, which was closed for several hours. Officials say the tree that fell on the worker was unrelated to tree removal work they were doing at the time. First responders used a rope system to recover their body.
And a petition to hire more Portland police officers with money from the Portland Clean Energy Fund will not be on the November ballot. The city said this afternoon that the petition needed more than 40,000 signatures and came up short by around 6,000. There were 2 main reasons it failed, according to election officials. Signers were either not registered voters or didn't live in Portland, and some signed more than once. The president of the police union criticized the signature verification process and said they plan to file legal action.
Well, speaking of ballots, Washington voters, you have less than 2 hours to get yours in an official drop box for the state's top 2 primary. In the headline race in our area, the toss-up race, In Washington's 3rd Congressional District, two-term Democrat Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez polling high, along with State Senator and Republican John Braun. The top two move on regardless of party. And remember, ballots must be in a drop box by 8 p.m. to qualify. We'll have the first results shortly after that on KGW.com and, of course, tonight on KGW News at 11.
And in an update, Chauncey Billups is now scheduled to go to trial later this year in the federal rigged poker games case. Prosecutors accuse Billups and other high-profile defendants of using illegal gambling operations to profit from high-stakes games they say involved cheating devices and the mafia. Billups is accused of wire fraud and money laundering conspiracy. He has pleaded not guilty and is one of the few defendants who have not accepted a plea. Jury selection is set to begin November 30th.
Well, speaking of the Blazers, to the ongoing debate over the future of Moda and a coalition of businesses and fans working to drum up support.
The We Are Rip City Coalition rallied near the arena today, asking people to testify at public meetings this week. Our Evan Watson joins us now live with the update. Evan.
Yeah, Christine, when it comes to this group says an upgrade of Moda Center is a real investment in the city's future, calling it a vital need here. There are a lot of businesses and companies that have signed on to support this initiative. The question is, how will these negotiations actually move forward? $573 million. That is what the state, city, and county would collectively pay under the current Moda Center proposal. Portland and Multnomah County have public hearings this week. And at Spirit of 77 on Tuesday, a bar near here at the Moda Center, a group of Blazers and fans and business leaders rallied for public funding, while some fans have pushed back, saying the Blazers owners should chip in and local governments should seek more in exchange for the renovation money. This We Are Rip City group believes the public investment is well worth it to guarantee a long-term future and build an arena that attracts big shows.
This is so important. This is bigger than real estate. This is bigger than a building. It's about the heart and soul of our city.
How do we keep our marketplace competitive? How do we deliver moments for Portlanders, Portland Metro residents, the greater region, the state of Oregon? It's really Oregon's arena.
Portland leaders are still waiting on the Blazers to provide details about the project, to know specifics about what would actually change at the Moda Center. Now, this is a big week for updates. What comes next? Well, Portland City Council is meeting tomorrow morning, hearing public testimony from people about this Moda Center proposal. We also expect to hear an update on the negotiations from Mayor Wilson. And then on Thursday, Council will talk about their portion of this funding plan and potentially vote to approve that. That's all the stuff that we're tracking as this moves on to another day. Guys.
Yeah, there's a lot to follow here, so Evan, really appreciate you keeping on top of everything. Now, as we continue to track the story, we want to hear from you. You can text your questions to the number there on your screen. That is 503-226-5088, and we'll do our very best to find answers and clarity.
And since we are talking about sports, or at least sports adjacent, the preseason coaches poll is out. The Ducks are starting the season in uncharted territory.
Yeah, Oregon checks in at number 2. That is the highest preseason ranking in program history. The Ducks got 6 first-place votes, trailing only defending national champion Ohio State. Georgia, Texas, and Notre Dame round out the top 5. The Ducks open the season at Autzen Stadium on September 5th against Boise State.
Be here before you know it. All right.